Here's how I stayed disciplined while in high school. The main reason people get discouraged, bro, is because they have bad people with them. And a lot of bad friends can be masked as homeboys, you know what I'm saying? Like there be so many homeboys, y'all be claiming, y'all be swearing it's really your dog and stuff, and next thing you know they saying all type of stuff about you and this and that. Y'all gotta watch your circle, right? You gotta keep good people in your circle. But what I mean by this, right? Let me explain the friends that you don't want. Friends that you don't want nobody laughing about your insecurities. You know what I'm saying? If you got some type of insecurity and people constantly laughing at it, like let's say you short and somebody always making jokes about it over and over, the same jokes. Like, bro, you too short for all that. This and that. That's not your real friend, bro. You need to cut them. Like, don't hang with them. Or, you know what I'm saying? At least make it known and then watch how they move after that. Make it known that you don't like that. You know what I'm saying? And then see how they move after that. If they like, oh, you too sensitive, this and that. You need to cut them, bro. Because at the end of the day, you cannot move forward when somebody constantly reminds you of your weaknesses. Another thing is, if you working on your goals and they saying something about you, they like, oh, bro, you weird for that. You know what I'm saying? Or you corny, bro, or whatever it is, whatever your goals are. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you want to make TikToks, right? And they like, bro, you corny. This isn't that. Right? Who cares, bro? Who cares? Don't nobody care. Because at the end of the day, what you gonna do, right, is you gonna level up your TikTok and you gonna be ahead of most people. You gonna be ahead of most people. You gonna level it up to the point where it's not corny by just keep on doing it. You know what I'm saying? Or you gonna make it look, you know what I'm saying, professional almost. You gonna be to the point where you just keep on growing, keep on growing. So ain't nobody can really say nothing about you if you just keep on getting growth and keep on getting results. You know what I'm saying? So don't even worry about people like them. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody like that, you need to keep out of your circle. Or if they like if they saying something about your money, you know what I'm saying? If you listen, bro, if people call you weird, that just mean that you stick out for a certain type of reason, right? So you stick out for a certain type of reason, and you got to make that a good thing. You got to make that a strength. You know what I'm saying? Develop that more instead of worrying about what people talking about. Develop that part of you more to the point where it's, you know what I'm saying, to the point where it gets socially acceptable, I guess, or you know what I'm saying, or to the point where it's not like a weird, corny type of thing. It's just you just a different type of person. All that is, bro, you being weird is like you trying to break through. It's like you almost about to break through into where you need to be at or something. At least when it comes to working on your goals. So if you working on your goals and people always got something to say about it, just don't keep them people in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like there'll be times, right? I would be working on I'd be working on my weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? I used to talk pretty squeaky. You know what I'm saying? And some of my old friends would have brought that up. They would have kept bringing that up and joking about it. And I used to be way too nice. If you constantly got friends calling you the B word, constantly saying negative stuff to you, you know what I'm saying? Cut them off, bro, because look, bro, you cannot work on your weaknesses if you constantly, like, if your closest people to you are giving you, you know what I'm saying, like making you distrusted. If you constantly getting called this and that, how are you gonna make yourself think that you're not that when you constantly keep hearing it? That's how the human brain works. Your subconscious is gonna pick up on that, and you're gonna be like, dang, like, and it's gonna be hard for you to move forward. So you gonna have to go to isolation, right? What you could do, just disappear for a while. Stay low. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you don't dap them up in the hallways. You gotta. Me personally, I wouldn't. But if y'all really, close, you know what I'm saying? At least for a while you working on your goals, don't let people like that get into your head and constantly be in your circle. You could dap them up at school, but don't be on no FaceTimes with them constantly. Don't be hanging out with them constantly. Don't be, like, even occasionally while you're working until you get that goal fixed. You should not be hanging around those people. after you get whatever goal you were trying to work on, whatever you were trying to work on, and you finally got it, you should not be going back to those people because they're just gonna tear you back down. So watch who's in your circle. You know, you can't have people constantly hating on you, constantly saying stuff about you, and framing it as love. Because I promise you, you call it out, the first thing they're gonna say, "Oh, you too sensitive, man, bro. It's all love. It's not love." Because how humor works, bro, it's like a mirror. It's like a mirror. What you laugh at, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna laugh at a special needs child in the hallway. I'm not gonna laugh at that. People who laugh at that, like it shows a lot about you, because you won't laugh at things that you know is like, nah, I don't rock with that. You know what I mean? Like I don't, or you won't laugh at things that aren't funny, like, or that shouldn't be funny, or that shouldn't morally, that don't strike right with your morals. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm calling myself a real friend to this person, right? And the next thing you know, I'm laughing at stuff, their weaknesses. I'm laughing at their insecurities with stuff that they're already feeling a certain type of way about, and I'm laughing at it, making it worse. What kind of friend? I ain't no real friend like that, bro. You're not a real friend. And a lot of y'all, you know what I'm saying, freshmen, eighth graders, or whatever it is, y'all young people, sophomores, y'all might not realize this yet, but as you mature, you should definitely be starting to learn that that's not like anything funny. And I'm not saying you can't joke with the person, right? No situational awareness in that, but it shouldn't constantly be in a type of way that seems demeaning or any type of way. And that's not being sensitive at all. That's protecting your mindset, because at the end of the day, right? If I promise you, you constantly hear that, right? It's going to tear you down more and more. You know what I'm saying? Or not even that, but those aren't real friends if they constantly saying certain things about you. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there's people who come from different places. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's customary where you talk, you kind of talk like that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the times, right? You got people like that around you. They not really your homies if they constantly, especially the insecurities thing. They poking at your insecurities. They're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? They always promoting you to do bad stuff. They trying to peer pressure you and all that, bro. No, bro. Y'all need to cut those people out, because those not really your friends. Nobody is gonna peer pressure you, right? If you tell them, right, nah, bro, I gotta do this, and they gonna keep on pressuring you. No, that's messed up. If you trying to stand on something and do better for yourself, and they keep peer pressuring you, like, no real friend is gonna do that. They don't rock with you like that, bro. I'm telling you, like, they don't. Like, y'all need people who actually like uplift you and bring you towards your goals. I'm not saying you gotta, you know what I'm saying? And you could even explain this to some of your friends and see how they move afterwards, right? You watch how they move. They keep doing it, cut them off. But like, you could try to bring them up with you, you know what I'm saying? Point out certain things to them, because at the end of the day, everybody come from a different place, you know what I'm saying? Everybody come from a different household, a different childhood. So things that they're used to, you know what I'm saying, talking a certain type of way, might be okay with them. You know what I'm saying? That might be just regular stuff to them. But and maybe they don't realize. But at the end of the day, you should be having your morals and what you stand on, and you need to stand on it. If your friends aren't aligned with your morals, you need to cut them, because that eventually, I don't care if it's however many years down the line, like 5 years down the line, whatever, eventually you're going to start picking up on them. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want certain things to rub off on you from certain people. So make sure you aligning yourself with people who actually care. And then if you on your goals, bro, and nobody's like that, nobody's uplifting you, nobody's bringing you towards them, bro, at the end of the day, yeah, I'm not saying you got to cut your people off, but keep them at a distance. Occasionally go places with people, right? But it's important to keep them out your circle, because I promise you stay on them, you always calling them, you always hanging out with them, you gonna start slipping. It's just what happens. You're gonna start slipping the more you're around that stuff, because it's like habitual for you to be in that type of mode. It's not habitual. It's not a habitual thing to be putting in hard work for your goals and your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're used to doing things easily. once you try to break from that, it's hard. If you got people constantly showing you that. If you got good people around you who uplifting you, I'm telling you, it gets so much easier because you start slipping, right? When you start slipping, they be like, bro, what you doing? You said you was gonna do this, this, and that, right? Those are the people you need. Second thing, right? You got to constantly remind yourself of what your future looks like. You know what I'm saying? This is how you build. If you don't got a passion, right? Or if you don't have like that burning passion that you see in certain people, right? I used to think that it's just like, oh, I just don't got that. Maybe I can't do great things. You know what I'm saying? No, bruh. What that is you got to constantly remind yourself of what your future looks like. So what I mean is that once you have your goals, you need to establish your goals first and where you want to be, right? I'm assuming y'all got some type of goals with certain things if you watching this video. You know what I'm saying? Because, right? So if you grinding towards something and you know your goals, right? Constantly remind yourself of where you're going to be at when you're 21, when you're 25, when you know what I'm saying? Or whatever age you're at, when you're older, constantly remind yourself of that end goal, right? And then you constantly putting that in your head is going to build over time. It's going to snowball. It's going to be like, dang, like you're going to really realize it a lot more. You're going to realize it quicker or it's just going to be a part of you kind of, because you're going to have that drive because you like, yeah, I want to be there for sure. It's kind of like teaching yourself something. You know what I'm saying? You keep doing it in repetition, and then you just know it like that. Or you keep doing habits over and over and over, and then it's a constant habit. You just do without even thinking about it. It's the same thing I'm telling y'all, your mind could be the biggest tool or it could be the biggest thing to go against you, right? I'm telling y'all, you keep building that. If you keep building that type of energy with your passion, you know what I'm saying? You constantly remind yourself, yeah, I want to be there. Yeah, I want to be there. Bro, you're going to have such a passion, bro. You're going to wake up, be thinking about what your goals are. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't do it, by the end of the day, you're going to be feeling horrible. But on those days that you do it, you're going to go to bed, you're going to go to bed feeling so happy. I'm telling y'all, that's how I feel. When I get what I need to be done, or what I say I'm going to do, I get everything done for the day. I'm telling y'all, those be the best. I be going to bed like a little kid. I love my day. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I got better today. I know I learned something. I know I did this. I know I did everything I stood on, and I'm getting better every single day, and it's evident. It's gonna show. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling y'all, man, work on that. And then third and final thing, eliminate distractions like there's no tomorrow, bro. I'm telling y'all, any distractions whether that's people constantly, if those friends you told them where you want to be at, and they constantly talking about, let's go party, let's go do this, let's go smoke, let's go drink, let's go a bunch of unproductive stuff that doesn't align with what you want to be at, bro. You need to eliminate that. You need to eliminate that from your life, or at least what you need to do is distance yourself, and you can occasionally do certain things. Nothing is bad in moderation. You do things in moderation, nothing can be bad. Like, it can't hurt you. You know what I'm saying? If you do certain things in moderation. So you keep those friends at a distance, but you hang out with them once a month, maybe twice a month, right? Maybe it's just one day out the weekend for 3 hours you hang out with them. No longer, right? 4 hours, maybe 4 hours on certain days. And even then, that's a little too much, but you do, right? Maybe twice a month. Y'all chill for maybe 4 hours, right? Do whatever you need to do. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because it's moderation. There's moderation with everything. And the majority of your time is going towards working on your goals. It's going towards this consistency that you're building. So then it becomes a part of you that's your day to day. And once you get used to that day to day, it's harder for you to get knocked off your pivot, because once you're used to that day to day, it's kind of like, it's the same thing as when it's hard transitioning from your day to day of everything being easy. Everything you watching IG, you watching YouTube, you just sitting in bed all day, watching anime, watching Demon Slayer. You watching Demon Slayer just all day, just sitting there. It's gonna be a lot easier. Like, it's hard for that transition to go from that to grinding. You know what I'm saying? Every single day. But once you do, once you finally get to the point where that's customary to you, where that's a habit, it's going to be the same way going back. When you get knocked off your pivot, right? When you get knocked off your pivot, it's going to be a lot harder for you to be okay with getting knocked off your pivot. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of, I'm not saying you can go back to doing things every day and it's just going to be like, oh, no, I want to bounce or I want to get back on my grind. I'm not saying it's going to be easy like that. But what I am saying is that you can hang out twice a month. You can hang out like once a month, and there's no issue with it. Twice a month. You can hang out maybe 3 times a month, and there's not much of an issue with it because you know how you're supposed to be and you're used to acting like that. You're used to operating like that. You're used to cutting out distractions, right? So that's pretty much gonna wrap up the video. Y'all stay motivated, man. Y'all stay on your grind, on your discipline. Really work on yourself to be the best version as y'all can be. But we out.